What happens when loyalty hits a legal roadblock? The Miami Heat want Dru Smith back. He wants to stay, but the NBA rulebook says, not so fast. This is the kind of behind-the-scenes roster drama that could impact the Heat's season more than anyone realizes. So why is Miami suddenly stuck when trying to bring back one of its most promising young guards? Let's break it all down and figure out what's really going on in South Beach. But before we dive into the Heat's two-way dilemma, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more NBA insights, and drop a comment below. Should Miami keep Dru Smith at all costs? It's been a wild offseason in Miami. While the headlines swirl with big trade rumors and blockbuster fantasies, the Heat have quietly been making some low-key, strategic moves. Among them, signing two young prospects to two-way contracts, FAU standout Vladislav Goldin and Summer League sensation Myron Gardner. But here's where things get interesting. Miami has one final two-way slot left. Just one. And the obvious choice to fill that spot seemed to be Dru Smith, a guard the organization already knows well, a player who's worn the Heat jersey through thick and thin, and someone who showed real promise before an unfortunate injury ended his season last December. Seems like a no-brainer, right? Wrong. Because of a little-known NBA rule buried in the latest collective bargaining agreement, the Heat aren't allowed to sign Smith to another two-way deal. That's right, Dru Smith, despite having fewer than 4 years of NBA experience and being eligible for a two-way deal with any other team in the league, cannot sign one with Miami. Why? It comes down to a technicality. Smith has already been on two-way contracts with the Heat during 3 separate salary cap years, and under the new CBA, no team is allowed to have a player on a two-way contract for more than 3 salary cap years with the same organization. Doesn't matter how good the fit is. Doesn't matter how much the team values the player. The rule is firm. And for Miami, it creates a real problem. Let's rewind for a second. Smith had started to carve out a role for himself in Miami's rotation last season. In just 14 games, including 1 start, he averaged over 6 points per game, while adding rebounds, assists, and even 1.5 steals a night. But it wasn't just the stats. It was the efficiency. He shot over 50% from the field, and a blistering 53% from beyond the arc. That's not easy to replace. His hustle, his energy, and his growing comfort in the Heat system were exactly what the team needed off the bench. But then came the Achilles injury in December. And just like that, his season, and perhaps his momentum, was halted. Even in recovery, Smith remained loyal. He praised the organization for its support, saying he was really appreciative to be here, and that the way this organization has taken care of me, I can never thank them enough. But appreciation and gratitude don't override league policy. So now, Miami is left with a tough decision. If they can't sign him to a two-way, they could theoretically offer him a standard NBA contract. And it's true. The team does have an open roster spot, but there's a catch. Signing Smith to a standard deal likely pushes Miami deeper into the luxury tax, which comes with serious financial penalties. In a league where every dollar counts, especially for tax-paying teams, this is no small matter, and that could make Smith's return more complicated than anyone expected. It's a classic NBA standoff. Loyalty versus logistics. The Heat have clearly invested in Dru Smith. They believe in his talent. They stood by him during his rehab. And by all accounts, he wants to stay in Miami. But the rules are the rules. And now, they're caught between wanting to keep a rising contributor and avoiding an unnecessary luxury tax hit. So what happens next? That's the million-dollar question. Could Miami take the financial hit and give Smith the full contract? Sure, but they'd need to be absolutely certain he's worth it. He hasn't played since December. He's coming off an Achilles injury. That's no small recovery. Could they try to sign him to the G League and stash him with their affiliate? Possibly. But that risks another team swooping in with a guaranteed deal. Could they convince another team to sign him to a two-way and then trade him back? Unlikely and complicated. Right now, the most realistic scenario is that Miami waits. They monitor his recovery. They evaluate their roster depth, and if they feel confident he's back to form, they might just pull the trigger on that full contract, luxury tax or not. Because here's the thing, championship contenders, like the Heat, don't let good role players slip away. And in today's NBA, having depth at guard, especially guys who can shoot and defend, is invaluable. Dru Smith may not be a headline name. He may not be a superstar. But these are the kind of players that win playoff games. The ones who step up when injuries strike. The ones who buy into a team's culture. The ones who grind it out in practice and are ready when their number is called. Miami has a history of finding and developing these types of players. Just ask Max Strus or Gabe Vincent. The Heat culture is built on underdogs rising through the cracks. And Dru Smith fits that mold to a T. So while the rule might block his return on a technicality, don't count out Miami just yet. If there's one thing Pat Riley and Erik Spoelstra know how to do, it's make the pieces fit, even when the rules say otherwise. What do you think? Should the Heat go all in and sign Dru Smith to a full contract? Or is it time to let go and fill that slot with someone new? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your fellow NBA fans. For more behind-the-scenes NBA content, just like this, keep it locked right here. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.